Thanks for logging on to BVN. It's your best friend, J. Cole. We are in the building. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about AHG, Alamo Hospitality Group. We're going to talk about entertainment and everything. I got my man's in the building. Gabe Felder. What's up, baby?
How you doing, Jay? Appreciate you having me, brother.
Man, I appreciate you taking time, dog. You know you be busy, man.
There you go.
Man, you be grinding, Gabe. If I had a hat, I'd take my hat off to you because you be on the hustle, bro. Hey. And that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff, man. It really helps other entrepreneurs and people look at the grind, right, and see you doing your thing, man. Like, yo, man, I'm my brother, man. Okay, and look at you now, still killing it. Still killing it, man.
There you go. I'm a humble servant of the community, man.
Hey, man, that's what it's all about. Hey, that's good stuff. So, okay, first things first. Let's talk about. I know you got a concert coming up, so don't worry, y'all. We're gonna talk about the concert, okay? I know y'all worry about the concert July 4th. We're gonna talk about the concert. It's coming up. But before we talk about the concert, we got to talk about the people who made the concert, right? How it came about. So let's first talk about. Great. Let's talk about AHG, Alamo Hospitality Group. How'd y'all come about with that?
You know, it's funny. I grew up here in San Antonio. Just wanted to do something for the community.
Right.
And you know, having access to my team and you know the team that helped me to put these things together was a significant and influential. We do so many projects in Houston and in Dallas, and and I think it was a team effort.
Yeah.
To instill in me, hey, you know, you should do that. So shout out to everybody in Houston. Shout out to Jay, Big J, Rob, Steve. You know, everybody that kind of helped me to kind of learn the game.
Okay.
And then take that and apply it so we can do some things here in our community.
Yeah, I mean, having a good mentor and having a good group is real.
Yeah.
That team is real, man. People don't understand that part of it, Gabe. When you got some of these icon people talk about, whether it's a Jay-Z or Tyler Perry or Beyonce or even an Oprah, right? But they fail to realize that their team, they got teams behind the machine that's pushing them, man.
Absolutely, and you can only do so much as individuals. You know how it works. We're both brothers who pledge, and it's only so much that we can do. We're all about the team. We're all about the group, and I think we can always go farther together.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, if we work it together.
I dig it. So, speaking about AHG, Alamo Hospitality Group, what is like the overall goal, the overall function, like? Because I know you're doing some entertainment, right?
Yeah.
So what's your overall goal with the whole production thing from there?
You know, we've been fortunate enough to work on projects here and going out as far as Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, shout out to the team because they've done stuff all over Carolina. We've been to Tennessee. We've done a little bit of things all over.
Okay.
And then everybody always asks, well, why you don't do anything back in San Antonio? Or why you don't do anything back home? And at the time, I was like, well, wasn't sure when it was the right fit, when it was the right time.
Right.
So then once the opportunity presented itself, I said, hey, let's go ahead and let's do it, see if we can put something together for the community.
Okay. And now when you say something, I know, once again, we're going to talk about July 4th. Stop bugging me about July 4th. Keep your messages. Wait your messages. So, talking about like events, so concerts and like, well, what are some other things y'all talking about?
So shout out Black Ops. We did some military activations.
Oh,
so
wow.
We started doing military activations, working with my guys there. They're special forces officers.
Wow.
And the minorities in the special forces make up less than 1% of minorities in the military. So there was a need, and they had some needs, some unique things that they wanted to do.
Okay.
So we worked with them, and that was kind of inspirational. Then we looked at what we were doing in Houston. So from Atlanta to Houston, and then on back, and said, you know, well, why don't we do some things here at home that can inspire? So not just you know, a black thing, not just a white thing, not just a Latino thing, but we have access to so many different activations that we can do.
Wow.
And we say, you know what, we might have something special. Let's see how it's received.
Okay.
And kind of take it from there.
That's real. And like you said, it's that diversity piece. It what makes a project so successful, right?
Yeah.
Being able to diversify. You mentioned the military, you mentioned dealing with the urban, dealing with the black and the browns, and people fail to realize that, man, in like business.
They go together, man.
Yeah, man.
And people don't realize it. It's, and in a climate of so much division, we just felt it was important to focus on inclusivity and bringing people together.
Okay.
Not only us working together, but bringing other people together. Like you said, small businesses.
And
man, people that, you know, sometimes don't always have that voice and feel like they left out. Like, hey, well, what about?
Yeah.
Because everybody always says, you know.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do in San Antonio. Nobody comes to San Antonio.
Right.
Where do we go? Okay, well, let's give it a shot.
Right. And so he's telling you, he got something coming for you. If you don't know already, you're about to find out now. July 4th is still going down. Stop asking me. It's coming. We're going to talk about that in the next segment. Golly, they be tripping all the time, man. But what it is, okay, so understand, when you put together your events like that, focusing on the collective, right? The multicultural aspect of it. how do you gauge who you want to bring, right? How do you determine, like, okay, I think this is a good fit for San Antonio. This is a good fit for Austin or Atlanta or Houston, right? Because it's different markets, man.
It's different.
It's different in every market. So how do you gauge what you're going to do in the Alamo City, right?
That is a great question. The interesting thing is sometimes, like you said, what works in another city won't necessarily work in San Antonio.
Real.
You know, the African American community is the minority, but the black and brown, what you notice is a lot of times they'll go together. What happened in Houston, and Latinos will come in, they'll buy out all the sections. So it's like, okay, so there's some overlap there.
Okay.
And the Latino community, the Afro-Latino community, and the African American community.
Okay.
So we kind of look at what we think will be the right demographic, the right artist, the right price point, because also the price point is different.
Big time.
The economics are different. So just trying to find the right mixture, and to be honest, there's no right or reason, and nobody's going to get it right the first time.
Nobody. Right.
Nobody's going to get it right the first time. So what we do is try to find the right mix, find the right balance, so that way we can serve the community in the most effective and efficient way.
Okay. And now when you go out to reach the masses, right, like you said, it's a different way of reaching people in Houston versus reaching people in Atlanta and in Dallas. How do you drive that vehicle, right, to get your message out? Especially here, we already know it's in San Antonio. We ain't got to say what we don't have, but we already know what we're working with, right? So how do you drive that message to get out to the masses about what we're going to talk about July 4th? We're going to talk about it, but how do you drive that? I mean, what goes into your war machine when you with the team? Like, okay, team, what avenues, what vehicles are we going to use to drive this message out there?
Well, that's one of the reasons we're here. You know, you guys are the baddest in the game.
Oh, watch out.
The baddest in the community.
He said I did.
The team here, shout out to the whole team here at Vista. You know, you guys are influential in the community.
Appreciate that.
So, of course, we couldn't do anything without coming to home base and showing love first and foremost.
Appreciate that.
Supporting the community that supports us.
That's what's up.
I appreciate you having us. So we start there, and then we look at, you know, hey, like my military brothers told me, hey, you know, sometimes you're building a plane in flight.
Right.
And, you know, we're going to take off. We may only have one wing. We may not even have first class, but by the time we land, we want to make sure we got the first class. We got the stewardess.
Yeah.
You might even get a snack.
Right.
And we're going to have both wings, and then by the time we get it kind of fine-tuned, we'll be right where we need to be.
Man, that's real.
But we're not going to think. We're going to, as soon as we take off, we got all figured out. We got all the pieces, because you'd be foolish to think that.
For those who know live about football or any kind of sport, the coach will call an audible, right?
That's it.
From the sideline,
That's it.
right? The coach will call an audible, like, no, we're not going to run that play. Let's mix this play in, because the coach has not seen and surveyed the playing field, right? So him or her can say, hey, you know, I think this is going to work a little bit better.
Change it. Let's try this. We need to pivot and do this.
Pivot.
And there's plenty of things that have not worked as you planned, and that's okay. Being willing to and able to make those adjustments, tweak it a little bit. So, okay, well, let's try something a little bit different.
Man, that's real. Gabe just took us on a jet flight on Marketing 101. Those entrepreneurs coming up in the game, you better take note if you need to take note. But now, can you hang out a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm hang out a little bit more.
We got a part 2 coming up, and now we're going to talk about July 4th, okay? Yes, there's a big concert coming to the city, July 4th here in San Antonio, and it's about to go down. So you better stay logged on, find out some more. Vendors, ticket purchasers, concert goers, this bud's for you. Hold on, be right back.